right. Good morning. Okay, I did come back to the model table yesterday and I spent a lot of time here finishing up these little parts. Now, I did do a rollback. And when I did my rollback, the shot that I took, I did an 8K. I'm going to be talking about that when you see the rollback. And I found out something really interesting. When I set the camera to 8K, my monitor that you see over here, it wouldn't work. And at first I thought, oh, I guess the camera won't work on a monitor when it's set to 8K. And then I got to thinking about it, and I thought, well, that's crazy, because people you're gonna want to see what's happening without having to go around and look in the back of the camera, if you know what I mean. Because the little tiny monitor in the back of the camera was working just fine. And then this morning I thought, I wonder if it's because this monitor here is an older 1080p monitor from an old computer monitor that I used to use before I upgraded to 4K in my computer room. And so I switched, and I put it on this one this morning, and then set the camera to 8K, and well, this one works fine. But this one here is a 4K monitor. So that means that I either have to switch the cables around or maybe switch the monitors around and have this big one there and the smaller one there displaying the surveillance system, which I like to watch. I get a kick out of that. Now, as far as the sunrise this morning, I'm noticing it's, I don't know, maybe I'll dub this in. I just noticed it now. We're getting what we call here in Winnipeg a sundog. And you get sort of a hazy sun. You get a dog off to the left or the right. It's probably on the right side too, but we can't see because anyway, let's carry on here. So in the rollback, which you're about to see, I put these parts on the turntable. You know what? Instead of talking about it, let's just roll back. Okay, I don't know if you can see the clock or not, but it's almost 9 o'clock, and I finally got these all done. And that includes twisting the little gun sights around. Now, where we are focused is right about right here. This area, whoops, careful, Ron. This area here should be the sharpest. Okay, now there's a reason why I'm telling you that. You know, for instance, back here, they're going to start to blur out. This one over here, it's not going to be. You'll know what it is, but it's not going to be real sharp. But right here, it should be sharp. In fact, you should be able to see the detail in the little sight. Now, the reason I'm telling you that is because this shot is being done in 8K. Okay, now this one should be fairly clear. Now, the bad thing is it's only 30 frames a second. So when I move something, it's going to be a little bit more jerky. But when it stops, it should be fairly clear. Okay. I'm experimenting around here. Yeah, now the bad news is that CD drive that I got from Amazon about 4 or 5 hours ago does not work. I tried it in my new computer and it didn't work, and I thought, well, maybe it doesn't like Windows 11, so I tried it in my old computer. It doesn't work in that one either. And it's not like I don't know how to hook these things up. I mean, it's just a USB plug-and-play type thing. The idea is you plug it in and it even uploads the drivers. You don't have to do any fooling around or anything. It just didn't work. So it's going back to Amazon. And my son is going to maybe pick something up for me after he gets off work tomorrow. So we'll see what happens here. Now, the reason I need a CD drive is because 3 of the programs that I use are on CD. And it's cheaper, way cheaper to buy a drive than to buy the programs again and have them downloaded off the internet. Yeah, so there's CorelDRAW that I use quite a lot. There's Microsoft Office. Now it's an older version, but I'm used to it. And the other one is Adobe Photoshop. And speaking of Adobe, I did download the trial version of Adobe Premiere Pro, and I'm experimenting with that right now. I can edit and render and produce in 8K, and I've not tried to see if YouTube will accept what I've done. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble here. Yeah, but that's sort of it for this evening. And what I wanted to show you is that I got these five guns done. Okay, we'll see you in the morning. Well, clearly it is no longer morning. Anyway, yeah, well, we're done here. Now we're starting here. It looks like we can make this whole row. We don't need to do anything about photo etch until we get to the end, to this little box. And it's going to be a very easy piece, it looks like. I actually think I remember seeing that piece on one of the sheets. Okay. Now, last night I broke my glasses, so I used CA glue. I knew it had come to me eventually. This is probably the third or fourth time now I've broken this wing off and glued it back on. I mean, why don't I just go and get another pair of glasses? You know, these things were only $1. Okay, let's reposition here and see what it is we have to get. Okay, so at first I was thinking this is some kind of a gun, but I'm realizing now it looks like a winch. And we make 3 of each one of these, and it looks like they are just simply mirror image to each other. I guess 3 go on one side of the ship and 3 go on the other side. I'm just guessing. And it looks like everything is on the G sprue. When we get over here, it looks like everything for these winches is on the H sprue. Well, we'll worry about these later. Let's get these nipped off. Okay, so we're making 3 of each one of these, as mentioned. Even though they are mirror image to each other, they do share some pieces. For instance, the G1s, which is these right here. So there's a total of 6 sprues. So that means that there's going to end up being. Why would there be a dozen of these when you only need? Are we going to maybe need them later on? But then, if we're going to be needing these things later on, why aren't we making them now? Unless these number 1s are also used on a part that is similar. Anyway, let's just get nipping here. So we need a total of 6 number 1s, which is these. Okay, now I'll just get 4 more off of 2 more sprues. Okay, now each one of these also shares a number 16. And they each share a G20. And a G21. Now I think that's the last for the shared parts. Now, I don't know if it would be possible to put these together wrong, 17 and 18. They're the only two pieces that aren't shared. But just in case, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep them separate. Put them in separate tins. Okay, there's 18 and 17. Now, I don't know if you can remember or not, but each one of these G sprues had a very annoying little part stuck on the end of it, and there was that sort of a right angle to everything, and it kept catching every time you try to. There's only 3 bags, and there's 6 sprues, and so you'd have to put 2 to a bag, and this thing was catching, so I nipped it off here, and I've labeled it here G32. Now, it's going to be interesting to see when it is that we're going to be needing G32. Will it be near the end of the build, or will it be maybe on this same page and we just haven't noticed yet? Anyway, now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I get a coffee visitor. Also, my son is going to be coming by later with a replacement for the CD drive. And I'm going to wind today's episode up right now. And I might come back at this evening, and if I work at it, my plan is to make one of these on camera, and then the remaining 5, well, I'll do them the same way I did those guns. Yeah, that seems to work out pretty good. At least we make a little bit of progress that way. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.